Hi, everyone. Um, this is going to be my final predictions and breakdowns for UFC 299. I'm hoping the network doesn't, bail on me because I'm really excited about these predictions. Even though I was a little bit late in preparing for them, but I think I have them finalized and a little bit perfect. I'm looking for. I think a lot of people are looking forward to UFC 299, and I think my predictions and my analysis, especially the later ones, the ones in the main event, I think they're pretty, you know, cool. If I say so, if I do say so myself. So yeah, let me get to the predictions, right? I want to start, looking directly at the cameras instead of just, looking to the side and reading. But yeah, that's a story for another day. I think maybe I should move because where I am, I don't think I'm visible, right? But in any case, let me start. Um, Woods versus Moros. Right? Or should I wait for people to come on? Um, I don't know. Like, what's the point of doing these lives if I'm not doing it with people live watching? Because I know it takes a little bit of time for, I don't know, YouTube to actually notify everyone. Um, I think someone just came in. Let me just go check. While I'm waiting for people to come on, let me just go check if there's anyone who's come on. Let me go and do the predictions. Um, so yeah, let me get to it. Moros versus Woods versus Moros. I think skill for skill, Joanne Wood is the better fighter. The only thing that makes me worry is her age. 38 is not great, but nonetheless, I think she can find a way to get it done. Honestly, I can't really say much about Moros because her biggest win is Bueno Silva, and after how she looked in that fight and losing to Pennington, I don't know if that's impressive. Also, Holly was beating Silva until the submission, but even if we assume that Silva is a top contender, the fact that Moros was able to beat someone who went on to fight for a belt while she's still not even ranked shows her inconsistency. Wood is coming off a win, so I'm going Joanne Wood. 60% she takes this one, but her age worries me. My subscribers went with Moros. On to the next one. CJ Vergara versus Almabayev. Um, I think Almabayev wins, and not because he is well-rounded and on a 14-fight win streak. My thing is there are fighters with that elite level skill, and I think Almabayev is one of those fighters. CJ is good, and I think he might eventually get into the rankings, but it seems like it will take him a bit of time to get there. 70% Almabayev takes this one via submission, I think. My subscribers also went with Almabayev. The Spain versus Parisian. Um, Parisian has 6 fights in the UFC, and only two of them, and only won 2 of them, I mean. And even though Despain is not experienced, he's an Olympic champion in Taekwondo, if I'm not mistaken. So that means there's a higher probability of him knocking out Parisian. So I'll say 80% Despain wins this one, but he is very inexperienced, and even though Parisian is not good, he has been fighting in the UFC for a while and might be well prepared. My subscribers also went with Despain. On to the next one. Pereira versus Oleksiy Czech, I think. Oleksiy Czech, yes. On the feed, I think they are more or less evenly matched, with the power advantage going to Oleksiy Czech. However, on the ground, Pereira is obviously better. Plus, Oleksiejczuk has horrible takedown defense. So my best guess is that Pereira will shoot early. Maybe Oleksiejczuk survives the first round, then gets taken down and submitted in the second round. However, remember I mentioned Oleksiejczuk has the power advantage, and if they are evenly matched on the feet, then it means Oleksiejczuk might, or rather has a higher probability of landing a big shot. So because of that, I'll say 70% Pereira wins this one. I'm confident, but the power changes everything. My subscribers also went with Pereira. On to the next one, Kutelaba versus Lins, Felipe Lins. This fight is similar to the last one in that on the feet, both fighters are evenly matched. However, I think power in this one is on both sides. On the ground, Kutelaba is exceedingly better and has good takedowns. So the only issue I have with Felipe Lins is that Felipe Lins has amazing takedown defense, so that means it won't be easy to take him down. And if Kutelaba can't take him down, it will be a coin flip because on the feet, they are dead even. So 70% Kutelaba takes this one. His takedowns are usually successful, so he might get it there. My subscribers also went with Kutelaba. Munoz versus Phillips. Munoz versus Phillips. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name properly. This fight is so close to the point that the predictions for this fight by my subscribers kept on changing throughout the week until they eventually picked Phillips. The difficulty to predict this one is the same as the co-main event. Munoz is very durable, but I think Phillips is the better fighter. So because of this sort of stalemate, I think it's going to be 50-50. It could go either way, but I think Phillips gets it done. My subscribers also ended up picking Phillips. Gamrot versus Dos Anjos. This is one of the easiest picks on the card. Gamrot looked sensational on the feet against Fiziev, who is an insanely good striker. He also got it done against Jalen Turner, and I think it was on short notice. And if you look at his fight against Tarukian, the pace and the scrambles and takedown defense were insane in that fight. On the other hand, Dos Anjos is 38 in one of the hardest divisions in the UFC, going up against a future title contender. And Dos Anjos has horrible takedown defense. So no way Dos Anjos wins this one. 100%. 100% Gamrot wins this one. My subscribers also went with Gamrot. On to the next one. There's usually like maybe 20 people online or 30, or is it? And maybe I should just convert this into standard videos as opposed to live videos. But let me continue. Chukagian versus Seminara, or is it Chukagian? I'll stick with Chukagian versus Barbara. I don't know why this fight is on top of Gamrot versus Dos Anjos. I'm receiving a call, so I'm going to ignore it. Hopefully it stops. Yes, thank you very much, whoever you were calling. I get that they are trying to promote the girls, but going from an exciting finish to a sloppy decision won't be fun. Anyway, this is another easy one, but it's women's MMA, so you never know. Barbara wins however I think Barbara wins however she wants to win, on the feet or on the ground. It's up to her. Chukagian was never really that good, and I see her being outclassed everywhere. So 100% Macy Barbara takes this one. My subscribers also picked Macy Barbara. On to the next one. Blades versus Almeida. I have picked Blades so many times in fights that he should have won, but lost because of bad decision making. I mean, this is the grappler who thought it was a good idea to stand with a knockout artist like Sergey. Like, why? And I know people will say, well, Sergey was hard to take down. I don't think so. The camp of Blades was focused on Blades striking, not grappling. A simple example is Alex Pereira being able to take Israel Adesanya down, but other wrestlers in the division struggling. It's because in Alex Pereira fight, Izzy did not work on his takedown defense. Against wrestlers, he works on it in camp. So you cannot ignore an important part of your skill in camp and hope to excel with it when the first plan fails, basically. He also lost to Derek Lewis via knockout. Almeida sat on Lewis, but at least he was able to take him down, something that Blades could not do. Um, yeah, I'm getting to him. Blades, something that Blades could not do. Blades is also not good at defending takedowns. His best shot is winning. His best shot at winning is standing up and striking with Almeida, but I doubt that is going to be the case. So 80% Almeida wins this one. My subscribers also picked Almeida. On to the next one, Yan versus Song. Yan lost to Sterling, O'Malley, and Merab. Two of those three were champions, and one is a title contender with a 10 fight win streak. Those are not bad losses. He also arguably won the first fight against Sean, but I don't mind him. I don't mind them giving the decision to O'Malley. Song, on the other hand, just had a close fight with Chris Gutierrez. Who does that? So striking, I think Jan is better. I don't think it will ever go to the ground, but if it does, I think it will be Jan initiating, and he might be successful because Song is probably expecting a striking match. So 70% Jan wins this one. My subscribers also picked Jan. Burns versus Jack Della. I think a lot of people became fans of Burns after the Chimaev fight because after the Chimaev fight, but people don't realize that certain fighters bring out the best in their opponents largely because they scare them. I remember Usman said he was scared of Masvidal, so he trained hard so he was able to knock him out. I think Burns was the same way because we never saw the same version of Burns that fought Chimaev ever again. I was It was a submission of Magny, but his takedowns entries were not good in that fight. Then a decision against Masvidal, then a loss to Bilal. Burns is coming off an injury, which is never good, but at 36 it's really bad. Re-injuring is higher when you get older. And although Jack is not great at defending takedowns, it was mostly against Hafez on short notice, and he didn't have time to prepare. Burns also has horrible takedown entries. So honestly, I think 80% that Jack takes this one. My subscribers also went with Jack. Holland versus Page. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Page was never a champion in Bellator, right? Only in kickboxing. So let me make an example with a former Bellator champion, Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler came into the UFC with a lot of hype. I didn't know who he was at the time. He beat Hooker while he was on a losing skid, then beat Tony. Not very impressive, especially because he's a former champion. Page never touched the title in Bellator. And there are people who genuinely believe Page, for some reason, at 36 of age, coming into the UFC and debuting against a young, good, and ranked contender, can somehow win, apparently. Maybe I'm underestimating Page, but that seems crazy to me. Also, his antics will work at lower levels. Sean O'Malley used to do that as well and stopped after realizing how hard it is to finish top contenders in the UFC. Dancing around will get you knocked out. Holland is too playful to capitalize on that, but nonetheless, I think Holland is better. So 70% Holland wins this one. My subscribers also went with Holland. Poirier versus St. Dennis. Here's how hard this fight was to predict. All right, last week my subscribers picked Poirier to win, and after my predictions came out on the short section of my channel, the subscribers' votes changed to St. Dennis. Then after my fight statistics video came out, the subscribers went back to Poirier. That has never happened before, and my subscribers are very good at predicting fights. So that should tell you how much of a coin flip this fight is going to be. If St. Dennis can avoid being knocked out or guessing out, I think he takes this one. Dustin has historically struggled with grapplers, so I think he loses. I think he loses there, but Dustin is also one of the best strikers in the division, so he might knock St. Dennis out, but I doubt. So even though I'm going with St. Dennis, I think it'll be 50-50. My subscribers ended up going with Dustin Poirier by 1%. This means 49% think St. Dennis wins and 51% think Poirier wins, so I guess we shall see. On to the final and main event of the evening. Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera. Vera has been losing most of his recent fights, then gets a knockout. He also was losing his first fight against O'Malley until the nerve kick. Technically, O'Malley is better, so I don't know if Vera's low output will be able to deal with that. As long as Sean does not get injured, the Cheetah loses this one. So 70% O'Malley wins this one. Thank you. I think I'm done at this point. I scheduled this live and yeah, it didn't do so well. So I don't know, maybe you guys should tell me in the comment section, should I just do standard videos and stop doing live videos? Because obviously I can see that there are some people online, but it takes a little bit of time for some of you to actually come through. So maybe that I can interact with all of you. So, but if you guys, boxing obviously is one of the main sports that I want to go into. So I'm going to expand to others. But at the moment, I have a standard job as a candidate attorney. So it's kind of difficult to doing. UFC alone is really difficult because I upload every single day. So I will expand to that eventually. But for now, I'm focusing on MMA, specifically the UFC. I have done a prediction for Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua. But